The Get Better podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants. Please remember to gamble responsibly.
Is there not? It's so disgusted.
Is there
not regulations around goalie equipment already?
Yeah. I don't know what the regulations are, but that guy was wearing a chest protector the size of my car. It was ridiculous. Welcome to Get Better for July 8th. We've been off for a little bit, Luke. Back at it, man.
Yeah. A bit of a trend here where we get one in and then we're off for a little bit. Lots happening. Obviously that we've been tied up, but trying to stay a little bit more active. Couple of big events this weekend.
We got a
lot to cover, a lot of things to talk about, and obviously some ongoing events right now. One that just wrapped up last night with the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to talk a little bit about that one. NBA Finals still going on. Game tonight, Phoenix, Milwaukee. Phoenix looking like could be a tough squad to beat, especially with Giannis a little bit banged up. So that one's going to be interesting to watch. But like I said, some big events this weekend.
Big UFC card. Big UFC card. Really excited about Saturday night.
Yeah.
You've got the Euros. The Euros are on the
Euros too. We haven't talked. I don't think we've talked.
We haven't done a soccer podcast at
or
all.
Footy.
Footy,
football.
Yeah, sure.
We haven't talked at all about soccer. And that's probably indicative of some really weak knowledge. Would require a lot of research, a lot of insight.
Can you name one player on the Toronto MLS team?
First of all, you can even Toronto FC.
Sorry.
FC. Yeah.
Can you name one player?
I can't. That's really bad. Can you?
Neither. Can you name 5 soccer players in the whole active soccer universe right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Harry
Kane.
Right.
We're gonna go Harry Kane.
Okay. Hit the 2 big ones.
Oh yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
Messi.
Yeah, you got 3.
Hang on, there's got to be a few more there. There's a few more there. Harry Maguire for sure for England. Harry Maguire for England.
Jerry Maguire?
No, Harry
Okay,
Maguire for England.
You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Patrick Schick from Czech Republic. I just saw him because he's up here on my computer screen. It's the only reason why. That's really weak. Amazing. That we can't name soccer.
I know.
We can't name football players.
Again,
that's
back
really,
to the podcast.
Really
it's all about getting better in every aspect of our lives. Not just always the gambling, but our lives, but the gambling for sure.
That's awful.
Can't bet on soccer until we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's actually rather embarrassing, to be honest with you. So don't take any advice from us when it comes to betting on the
Not yet.
We're going to tell you what we think.
Yeah, not
we're
yet.
Give you some thoughts based on what we've read, some insight.
Okay, so first, Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah,
I got to ask a question. So obviously, our beloved Leafs went out. Were you of the side that was, more sour grapes? I don't want to see another Canadian team win if it's not the Leafs, and we're rooting for Tampa. Or were you on the side of, you know what, we're due. It's time. The cup needs to come back to Canada. I'm with the Habs. Where were you sitting?
I
would love to know too from the audience too. We got to throw that up as a poll.
Yeah.
When your team gets eliminated in Canada, do you support another Canadian team or one of the American teams to win it all?
I do. And I know there's a ton of Leaf fans out there that think it's like blasphemy to cheer for the Montreal Canadiens. But I did. I was cheering for the Montreal Canadiens largely for the fact that I was still just so disappointed and frustrated, embarrassed, and quite honestly disgusted with the Toronto Maple Leafs and not getting it done and losing that. Like there's something fundamentally wrong there. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again because it's just it frustrates me and irritates me. So you know what? I was happy to see Montreal get it done and go as far as they did with the group that they have. They gel together well. I absolutely like hats off to the Montreal Canadiens for what they did. I was rooting for them. I absolutely was. With that said, for Tampa, being able to get it done at home, fans in the arena, based on how they won it last year, no fans in Edmonton. It was nice to. I was okay with seeing that for Tampa to be able to get it done for the fans at home. But I was rooting on Montreal. I wanted Montreal when I wanted them to extend it. Truthfully, I don't think they had a hope in extending that series. I don't even think they were really in that
game
series.
They had to take game 2 to have a shot, I thought. But yeah, disappointed that it didn't work out a little bit better and go a little bit longer. But I'm going to give you my take on this, because I'm of the mindset now. I've heard too many times, like, talk show hosts, presidents kind of mock that, hey, the cup's still in the States. The cup's still in the States. And I've heard that narrative too much. And I feel like we got a little bit of a uniting movement happening. Like, I found myself really cheering for the Hats, like jumping up and really happy, like they were my team.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where, like, who do I want to see more happy? One of my fellow Canadian cities, or this Tampa city that's just won a Super Bowl? And then the final piece, and this is kind of irked me, and it's sitting with me poorly right now, was Kucherov's comments yesterday. He decided to take a shot, not just at Montreal fans, but I felt he was taking a shot at Canadian hockey fans when he went out and said they thought they won the Stanley Cup after winning one game, and he kind of rubbed it in their face. And I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that in Canada, when you win a game and when you win a round, you're really, really happy about it. If the Leafs win a round, I don't know if you remember when the last time they went around, cars are honking, you're on the streets, and that's a part of the whole buildup. But imagine what that city would have been like if Montreal had pulled off the cup. I'm talking, you're probably big odd riots, but the fact that he decided to take that shot tells me also a lot about the Tampa Bay fans and the way they celebrate and how little they do celebrate. I think, fine, great. You have your little boat parade, go nuts, right? So go ahead, ride it out on the river. Sure. But let's be honest, there's just such a gap, I think, in how they cheer for hockey and how we cheer for hockey.
Yeah, I think we're, when it comes to hockey in Canada, and it's well known, even though it's not technically our national sport, we've sort of adopted it as our national sport. It means a lot to us as Canadians. We feel like it's a part of our culture and makeup. So yeah, we probably celebrate a little bit differently than others do. I wasn't a fan of Kucherov's comments either. I just feel like he didn't have to go there. He just won the cup.
He didn't.
Right? Celebrate and enjoy that.
No, zero class
at the Montreal Canadian hockey fans. Yeah. I don't think you needed to. It was
that game though next year. When they get back into the four, when they get back to Montreal, when Tampa goes there and he touches the puck for the first time, the fans are gonna let him hear it.
It's going to be great.
Good turn-in game.
Yeah, absolutely. Some must watch there for sure. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, tough loss for Montreal. Like I said, I don't know. Did you feel like they were ever in that series? Did you think that they had a chance?
Game two. They had to win game 2. Once they lost game 2, it was done. I really liked how they played in the last 2 games. Actually, that's a 1-0 game to win the cup. That could be either way. One bounce the other way, get overtime. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. You know what? I think I said it before.
Game 3.
Yeah, I said it before in another podcast. I think Vasilevsky's the real deal. I think he's a really good goaltender. And I think Carey was
totally disagree. I saw that equipment today. I saw the equipment. The equipment. Did you see the 2 shots of the goalies meeting head to head?
No.
He weighs 5 more pounds than Carey Price.
Yeah.
And his equipment looked like 3 times the size of it. I think there were some funny memes actually where they blew out his equipment. Yeah, his equipment should be illegal.
Isn't there?
Honestly, I'm done with Tampa.
Hang on. Is there not? He's so disgusted.
Is
there not regulations around goalie equipment already?
Yeah. I don't know what the regulations are, but that guy was wearing a chest protector the size of my car. It was ridiculous. This guy's no good. He's just blocking shots. How many glove saves did he make? I don't know about that. Just sits there like a big old ogre. Oh yeah. There's Thanks for the Conn Smythe.
I think there's
I'm
a
done
little
with
bit
Tampa.
more
Done with Tampa.
Clearly, you're done with
like
Tampa.
easily my most hated team now in
Yeah.
in hockey for sure.
Yeah, fair.
Moving
Okay,
on.
fair enough.
Moving
fair
on.
enough. Yeah, let's move on from NHL because you're clearly heated about that one. So, what we did talk about off the top here, a couple big events this weekend that we should touch on. One being the Euros, which clearly we know nothing about because we can't even name 5 soccer or football players in all of soccer or football. So, which, you know what, that's when I think about that. You know, when I spent some time over in Europe and in England, and when I was there, I think I was there when the Euros were going on. I don't know, maybe it wasn't the Euro. It definitely wasn't World Cup. Maybe it was Champions League finals, things like that. So I was there when there was a lot of big matches, and it was like a thing to do. You finish work, you went straight to the pub and you watched some football. Yeah. There's big matches and everyone did. I really got into it. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to follow this when I get back home. I'm going to pick a team in the Premier League. I'm going to follow it and I'm going to be a fan. And you know what? It's really hard to do here. Like unless you're part of a true supporters group, a sports club where you're getting together with the boys, you're going to a pub, you're watching the games early morning, you're drinking your Guinness, you're the diehard Liverpool fans. It's tough to do. I don't know. But you know what? I've found myself watching the last, and I'm an England fan, watching the last few games and watching a few of the games throughout the course of this tournament. Tough to do again because of the time zone, but I've actually enjoyed watching soccer, like watching football. It's actually a great game to watch. Like I've really enjoyed. I'm not sure why I haven't or haven't gotten into it more. Like how much?
What is it? What's the draw for you? What are you enjoying?
I don't know. There's a lot to me. There's a lot of strategy, right? It's very much a possession game. Like there's a ton of strategy involved in it, right? And you kind of, to me, soccer is a sport where you can really see the play develop. And there's something about that where you're watching. Yeah. It's not like hockey where there's a lot of points scored. Yeah. You know, it's, you really have to pick your spots and you have to work to develop plays. And so, yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. There's a bit of like an art to it almost that when you're watching football or soccer, as we call it here. So, I don't know. I might give it another shot here.
Do you know which way you're betting, like, and what you're basing that on?
A little bit here. So what I would love to hear your take. Yeah, I don't know which way to go if I'm picking outright winner, and that's probably not what I would do if I was betting here. I think there's a couple of props that I would look at more specifically. I'm an England fan. Okay. So naturally I'm going to cheer for England. I'd love to see England win. They haven't won since the World Cup in 1966, I think is the date. Yeah. And so in that case, yeah, it'd be great to see England win. It's at Wembley Stadium in England. So all those things line up. How great would it be for them to win it? And you know, they want it bad. The fan base is desperate for a win here. England's notorious for finding a way to lose games in meaningful tournaments. And so, yeah, it'd be great to see them win. That said, the two props that I'm kind of looking at and focusing on, one would be, will this game go to extras, right? Or in our terms, as we call it, kind of overtime. But will it go to extras? And I think when you look at the stats, 3 of the last 6 Euros have gone into extras. And when you consider this tournament alone, in the semifinals, both semifinals ended up going to extras, obviously. So Italy went to extras with Austria as well as with Spain. And again, with Spain, it actually went to PK, penalty kicks, in order for Italy to get the win. And England versus Denmark went into extras. I just feel like there's a trend here. I think it's going to be a tight game. Yeah. I could see this one going to extras. So I would bet on this finishing as a draw and going into extras. That's one prop that I would certainly look at. The other one that I would look at is Kane to score a goal. Harry Kane to score a goal. So the captain for the English squad, he's got 3 goals in his last 4. He scored the game winner against Denmark. So he's kind of peaking at the right time. He would love to win the Golden Boot here if he could. So
I love that name.
The Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I those are kind of two props that I would plan. I don't know where to go on an outright winner, and I don't know that you get a lot of value there. You probably get some more value when you look at some of the props, but that's probably where I would go. Want to see England win. If I can parlay some of those together and build a cart, I might look at that as well. But those are kind of two areas when I just did some quick insight and research on those.
It's funny looking at the draw. Like, is it going to be there? Like, they have this no goal at plus 528. And I could see, obviously, where I'm looking here is the under. I'm with you too on if I think it's going to be low scoring, tight scoring, go to overtime and extra time or to a shootout. So I'm saying that it's going to be under the 2 goals. I see it either being a 1-1 game or a 0-0.
Yeah. So do you have
I know.
I'm cheering for first. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Put all the cards on the table. I haven't watched a lot of the Euros. So the way I'm picking is going deep into the 23andMe, my results.
You got to give
23andMe.
What is some of our listeners
everybody knows who 23andMe is. Yeah,
just
that's
give
you
the
get your
breakdown
answer. 23andMe, you send in your swab. They tell you your ancestry. You get your whole tree. They tell you all the diseases and things that are I was going to say trending for you. Yeah. Basically what you're likely to have based on others who have similar DNA.
Yeah, it's like going to a tarot card reader, but maybe a little bit more factual based on your.
Man, this
is
I know
it's
stuff,
advanced.
Man.
It's
this
not.
this is not.
It's science.
Turn over the witch's brew. Oh no, I'm gonna die in a plane crash.
I know it's science.
No, terrible.
It's science. I get it. Okay, so give us the lowdown based on your heritage, based on who you are.
Based on my heritage.
Are you pulling it up right now?
I have it right in front of me. I, Troy Gubb, am 98.7 European. Now, what that means and how that breaks out, if you could see the little map there, I have actually a lot of Finnish. I remember actually doing a project back in grade school on Helsinki. So I always like to side a little bit with Finnishes in like the Olympics or anything like that. I have a little bit of love there, and I always have. However,
what's your percentage of Finnish here?
Finnish is actually strong, 14.9%.
Okay.
Heavy. It's deep on my mom's side, actually.
Interesting.
So how about this though? 9.6 Italian.
9.6% Italian.
9.6% Italian. So I can claim that stat at any time now, whenever Italy is dominating major events like they tend to do in soccer.
So your fandom swings based on
absolutely
favored.
Saying that, 58.2% of me is British.
So
you know where I'm going.
So where are you going?
I'm going England. I'm going England. I'm going England. It's the only out of the 2 places. It's the only place I've been.
They are the favorite as well.
They are the favorite, and they're due. And wouldn't that party and that celebration just be great to see? I think that would bring me a lot more happiness than seeing Italy do it again.
Yeah.
So I want the team that's due.
Yeah. So we're on the same page there. That's good. And you know what? Fantastic promo for 23andMe that we just
23andMe.
Really interesting.
What a great app. I love when it pops up too. Like all of a sudden it'll be like, you have new relatives, DNA relatives. I'm like, do I know them? Nope, never do. But
crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. Definitely. I do recommend it. It's fun to do.
Interesting. Okay. So you would look more so again. So I think we're on the same page here. We're looking at a couple of different props. Again, if you don't watch a lot of soccer, a lot of footy, but you want to get in on the action because it's fun to do. A lot of people will be watching this game, massive sporting event. So a lot of people will be watching it. So again, you probably need to do some research. We did a little bit here, but as clearly we've demonstrated, not the biggest soccer fans, not would
love to hear
our sport.
Would love to hear some others' takes on this one. Sure.
But maybe it's a sport that we should dive a little bit deeper into. Like I said, we haven't covered soccer yet.
Part of it.
We've got to learn that.
It's a part of the process. We got to get better in everything.
We're going to look at by the next podcast. I'm going to be able to name 10 soccer players.
I'm gonna test you on
Guaranteed.
that. You better. I'm gonna test you on that.
You do it. I guarantee you. I'm going to
You'll be
name
back?
10.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to name 10. I'm going to become a soccer fan. I think I will. I played a lot growing up. Did you play soccer growing up?
No, it didn't.
No. Yeah,
No,
I played
no.
a ton growing up. Great sport. Love it.
Okay.
Okay.
I would be pretty good at it though. Yeah, just
Yeah.
naturally gifted speed.
Yeah, I was waiting for. Yeah,
like
you're
that.
just an all-around
Yeah.
natural athlete, right?
Speed
Naturally gifted. Yeah.
speed saves everything. So
Yeah,
I was always
you've really demonstrated that on the golf course so far.
That's the one part. That's where I get exposed, right? That's the ultimate exposure is when my speed is no longer a factor. Full exposure.
Full exposure. Okay, UFC this weekend. Big one.
Love
big
this
one. Big one. So you've kind of become a bit more of a UFC fan.
Huge fan of that. There's three, like obviously the big one. There's three matches I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah.
The first one, obviously, we'll talk about the McGregor fight. That's the big
we'll get to
that.
Night.
But the undercard. So there's this guy. I don't know if you know him. His name's Ryan Hall, nicknamed the Wizard. The guy looks like me, just full on, even smaller, full on hairy chest, the smallest guy in the world. And what he does is, it's like he does these when he's getting into attack motion with these guys. He'll throw some kicks, but all of a sudden he just does like a roll and grabs the guy's leg and puts himself like it's like a snake attacking a creature, and it just wraps him up and then makes the guy submit. You know,
it's a great analogy.
It is like
a
it's
snake
like just
rolls,
a creature, and then boom, you got to watch some Ryan Hall highlights.
Okay.
Anyway, so the guy hasn't fought in 2 years.
So what's the hype? What's the hype here? So give us the hype on Ryan. Like, why are you so excited to watch this? Because he's just an unorthodox fighter.
He's unorthodox fighter. The first time I ever heard about him was he was in a pizza restaurant, and a drunk guy came by, started some trouble, and he just threw in some jiu-jitsu and boom, got him, hold him there till the police came. Great video if you get a chance to watch that.
Wow.
So I saw one of his fights, and last one was 2 years ago against BJ Penn. I think he snapped his knee. And
he snapped BJ Penn's knee.
BJ Penn's knee, like that. And he hasn't been able to get a fight in 2 years for random reasons. You know, he's 4-0 in the UFC. Nobody will fight him because he's so unorthodox. Like, yeah, there were some times that he had an injury or something like that, so the fight got canceled, but he's had 3 or 4 fights now postponed.
Okay, so hang on. So are we thinking that people are afraid to fight him because he's so unorthodox, and they're afraid to lose, or they're afraid that they might seriously get injured and be detrimental to their career?
Hurt. He will hurt their career. This guy is not knocking out anybody. He's a guy that he'll jump on your back and he'll just hold you. He'll ride around you like a monkey on their parents, like just wrapped around their neck. Like, yeah, just getting carried around. Take me for a ride.
Just full of the analogies today.
I guess I watched the jungle
I know. I say, what were you watching? Like the Discovery Channel?
No, kids are watching Dora the Explorer. There's a lot of characters in there. So
reading some national what was it called? What's that magazine with all the animals?
National Geographic?
Oh,
no, it's all Dora the Explorer, man.
No, it's late.
So anyway, watch for Ryan Hall. I got him in don't take him to the odds are great because he's actually the underdog in this fight. Okay. Take Ryan Hall submission. That's my odds. I'm taking Ryan Hall submission
on that undercard. Okay, interesting. So a guy to watch. I'm gonna have to check out some of those highlights, see if we can find Ryan Hall beating on some people using some jiu-jitsu in a pizza parlor.
That's a must see. And then of course the other guy gaining a lot of steam, first card I think on the main card is Sean O'Malley, the Sugar Show. Love this guy. This guy is, I think, the next big thing. I think he's a bantamweight.
I think it is bantamweight.
But he's great. He's so fun to watch. His arsenal is pretty deep. A lot of fun kicks, a lot of great commentary, just a great follow on Instagram as well.
An interesting look too to him, right?
Crazy hair, looks everything,
the whole bit.
Yeah, like I think he's going to become one of the next big stars of the UFC. He does have a loss on his record. He also, kind of like how McGregor lost, he got kind of kicked down to nothing.
Yeah.
And then just stopped. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so he's a guy I'm looking at. I'm like really excited about that one. And then the McGregor card.
Yeah.
McGregor fight,
So McGregor Poirier, the trilogy, third fight in the trilogy. Big one. For me, I don't watch a ton of UFC. I'll watch when there's a really good card, a big card, or a big fight. So naturally, and I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. I really am. I like him a lot. I've followed his career, not just in the UFC, but everything else that he's done and the brand that he's built. I got an immense amount of respect for how he's built and established his brand and monetized it outside of the UFC. It's one of the reasons why he was the Forbes highest paid or richest athlete of 2020, I think it was, right? He's just got tentacles of business opportunities and money coming in from all different kinds of places. You've got to respect it when you know where McGregor came from. Have you seen his doc? The McGregor doc, the Notorious doc. Oh my gosh, you got to watch it because it starts, the whole documentary starts at the beginning for him, and you get a sense as to where he came from, and it was not a lot. Like, he did not have a lot. So what he's built, the empire that he's established, got immense amount of respect for him. And yeah, he handles himself in an interesting way, but a lot of that, I think, is part of him building up that persona and that brand, right? Like, a lot of times that's why he can be so outspoken and he's incredibly confident. But we've seen that demeanor change a little bit, especially with the second fight with Poirier. Like, that first fight that they had, when you looked at the press conference and you looked at the weigh-in, like, there was not a lot of respect there. Yeah. Entirely different in January when these two fought each other. Like, he put his arm around Poirier. They took a photo after they did the weigh-in, the presser, and they shook hands, like the whole bit. And he was just a different tone. So part of me starts to wonder, how much is Conor losing the edge, losing the hunger? And I think he had some comments this week.
It's great comment. Yeah, I think it was with Stephen A. And they're like, people are saying you're losing that. He's like, I'm no longer the hungry lion. I'm the fat cat. And the fat cat's even more dangerous because they run the whole show, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, which is interesting. But I mean, part of me is question is like, why are you still fighting Conor? Like, you've got everything you need. And you talked about it. And you see a number of clips where he talked about, I'm going to fight until I get to a point where my kids have everything they need. Yeah. He went as far as to say, like, I think it went for when my wife has got the car that she wants. She's got a different car to drive every day of the week, the whole bit. Like, that's what he's in it for, which again, I get immense amount of respect from him. He's doing this for his family. He's trying to build that empire for his family. Yeah, absolutely. So ton of respect for Conor McGregor. I like him a lot. In this fight, I did a little bit of research on this one, and actually, reached out to Stat Guy here.
I don't think that guy wants to be called that anymore.
Yeah. What do we call it? Our data dude. Yeah, reached out. I had a quick chat with Data Dude on this one. So he pulled up some interesting insight for us on this. So the one thing to consider here is this is a trilogy fight. There's been 13 trilogy fights exclusively to the UFC. Okay. Within those 13 fights, the fighter that has won the second fight of the trilogy, 70% of the time has gone on to win the third fight. So that stat in and of itself lends itself well to Dustin Poirier in this particular match. It does not favor Conor McGregor. So where I started evaluating this particular fight was looking at both of these two fighters, their style, history, how they've won. And they're not submission artists. We know that. Both of them are predominantly strikers. Conor McGregor specifically is a striker. And both guys tend if they're going to win, they're winning by knockout. There's not a lot of submissions happening here. So to me, instead of looking at this, and Connor is actually the underdog in this fight, slight underdog. I think they've got Poirier minus 115, Connor at 105, something like that when I looked at it last. So slight underdog.
Slight favorite. Sorry, slight underdog. Yes, sorry.
Slight underdog. Yeah. Dustin is a favorite.
Minus 115, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not getting a lot of value there when you look at that. So to me, knowing how both these guys fight, knowing their trends in terms of the way that they finish fights and how they fight, I'm more inclined to wager on either Dustin or Connor to win by knockout, where you're going to get a little bit more value for it. So I'd rather go to that prop bet as opposed to just trying to pick a straight up winner, right? And not getting a ton of value on it. So that's where I'm more inclined. The question is where do you go? Because that stat, that 70% is an interesting stat and would lend itself well to Poirier in this situation. So if I were to take that stat and combine it by Dustin Poirier and his fighting style, and I'd be taking Poirier to win by knockout, basically.
Okay.
If I'm betting with my wallet. But as I said, I'm a massive Conor McGregor fan. And do I want to see him win again? Absolutely. He's like one of those guys you just want to see win. It's like Tiger Woods. Anytime Tiger Woods in the tournament, I want to see him win. I don't know why. I just do. I want to see Conor win. So I'm betting with my heart. I'm going Conor. The question is, do you go with heart versus your wallet? Where are you with this one? What are you leaning on?
So I'm thinking I'm looking at this from Conor's perspective. Okay. He was very, he was kind of classy in that loss. He was really upfront about it. He was like, yeah, he kicked me down. He worked my legs and he was done. And then you go back to the first fight, they were fighting at a lower weight class too. So, that's definitely, to me, Dustin looks like the bigger guy in general. He feels like the bigger guy. So, his punches are going to land a little harder. I think Conor wants this fight right away because he knows he can win it. Right. And so he's going to be playing this one much smarter. I don't think he's going to get in there as close before. I think it's going to be a lot like the first fight. He's going to use his feet, but I also think Dustin's a lot smarter. I do not think that this fight is actually going to live up to the hype. And in the rare occasion, I think he's going to win this one the way he won the Diaz rematch. And that's going to be by decision. So I think it's going the distance because they're going to be smarter. There's going to be a few exchanges in here, but nobody's getting in a position to get knocked out because I think they each respect each other a little bit too much. So I think everybody's going to be a little bit more tentative. That's my prediction. So tentative fight, try to get some endurance. So, if we can slow down those punches a bit, he tire Dustin out, it's not going to be there. And then, by the third round, none of them are going to have the knockout power anymore.
Yeah. It's an interesting take.
And you said it true. Like take. we don't have submission artists really here.
No.
So I think it's going to be.
But both guys, Conor in particular, as you said, he's had one fight really go the distance here.
Yeah. I think I was looking back.
There's one other one with Holloway.
Fight since 2013. Yeah.
Yeah. He had one other fight with Holloway before he was in the UFC that went to decision against Max Holloway, but that was before he was even in the UFC. Yeah. So not a lot go to this. So it's an interesting take. I don't know. It's
I like the odds on it too. Plus 715. 715 for Conor by decision. I like it. I mean, even Dustin by decision.
Yeah, what's that one?
610. So, I think everybody's looking at these knockouts and these finishes in this one. I just think both guys are just too smart. They've matured too much since their first fight. And then Conor's just not going to walk into that for his second one, but who knows? Maybe one shot he's out of it.
And that's the thing.
Maybe it's just a payday for him.
I think that's the thing about that is the thing when it comes to UFC. It's just one shot. You get caught once and it's good night. And that's it. Yeah. And I think that's why you'd probably, when you look at most of these cards, you probably see a lot of them favor more towards the knockout. Not favorite. I mean, you're getting more value if you're looking at decision versus versus a knockout or submission. So interesting one. It should be a fun one.
Great
Lots
Saturday.
happening this weekend.
Yeah,
Great
can't wait.
Saturday. The Euros on Sunday. Big match there. England, Italy. We'll be back in England in that one. So lots happening coming up in the next couple weeks here. We did actually get round 2 in.
We did.
Cubs.
We got the second round in.
Quest to 99. We got the second round in. So little teaser there. Results to be revealed.
Golf week next week, right? So
yeah.
Makes sense to talk about it then.
The Open. Yeah, the Open at Royal St. George's next weekend. So we will update on Gub's Quest in Breaking 99, the results from round 2, as well as we'll talk a little golf next week. And then we'll see where else we go from there. Lots coming up. Some Olympics coming up too.
Oh yeah, we got to get Olympics on here.
Yeah, God, I don't know how you bet on Olympic sports, but we can try.
It's there. It's there. You can.
There, we got to learn. We will figure it out.
Can't wait.
It's part of
pole vault.
Better.
All right.
Betting on the pole vault. All right, we'll look into it. We'll let you know. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Enjoy
We'll see you next week.